Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You guys know sometimes we review cars, we test their charging, test their range, but cars are more than just the things that we drive. It's also about the ownership experience and how the company presents itself. So we've gone into a few of these showcase-like buildings, which is behind me, which I'm going to explain in just a minute, but we've gone to Rivian hubs and we've seen how Rivian is immersing themselves in culture. We've done a tour at the Genesis house in New York City, looking at their fine dining upstairs and how Genesis is presenting their cars to New York. And this behind me is the first NIO house that I've been to. It is the NIO House in Oslo, and it is an incredible A, piece of architecture, and B, piece of brand recognition, and a great way for NIO fans to find what they're looking for, which are cool cars and cool accessories, literally right in the center of Oslo. If you just pan around here, there's a fair going on here to my right. There's a protest going on over here. No idea what they're angry about, but they're pissed off about something. And it's just awesome to be right in the heart of Oslo with NIO taking up this massive building. It is truly huge. So Alyssa's gonna be behind me on the camera. We're gonna show you the NIO ET7, the ES8, both of which we already have or will have videos on this channel. We just happened to be walking around Oslo today and said, we gotta make a video because this is next level. This is so cool how they present their cars. Alyssa, you ready for a full tour?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I want to say a huge thank you to Magna for sponsoring this video. Guys, every week I thought it'd be pretty cool to highlight a specific Magna innovation, and in this case I want to talk about seats. Now, seats may not sound that interesting, but Magna's actually developed a really cool technology called Freeform. Now, traditionally seat covers need to be stitched and sewed and hooked and looped in certain places whenever you want to tie down the material or have some sort of concave surface. But with a new innovation called Freeform, the material itself can actually be molded to whatever shape you'd like. For example, take a look at this diamond pattern. When have you ever seen a fully embossed diamond pattern with no stitching? It's crazy. It's going to lead to the next generation of interior materials. I've actually even had a chance to try this out. And what's even crazier is the seat structure was the same as the factory OE spec. Freeform allowed the entire seat to feel and mold differently than the original seat. It was really crazy. Take a look at my reaction here. Let's see how this all... Okay, totally different, first of all. But it's the same seat structure.
It's the guts of the seat the production seat.
Whoa, totally different. So a huge thank you to Magna for sponsoring this video. We'll have a full in-depth video with Magna seating specifically on Freeform coming to this channel very soon. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. So it's cold, it's about 32 degrees Fahrenheit, rainy, snowy, a little bit of mix. We've been driving, we just got back from North Cape. We were all the way up in the Arctic Circle. And I want to take you on a tour of NIO House. We actually just randomly walked in. We're like, hey, we're YouTubers. And we're like, can we film? And they're like, oh yeah, that's great, go right ahead. So here we go, welcome inside of NIO House. And first thing we're greeted with right off the bat is the EP9. This thing is just absolutely insane. It ran a 6-minute, 45-second lap around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. It is just an insane EV. I'd really love to do this against the Rimac Navara and some other things. Carbon brakes. This particular one, we did a little tour with some of the people who run the building. Everyone at NIO is so nice, by the way. Yeah, not drivable. No batteries in this one, but this is a drivable car. This one's done track work and it is fully functioning. They just took the batteries out. So unfortunately, we can't steal it and drive it through the glass, but what a great way to see, you know, sort of the first impression of NIO House. Now, I have seen this car before in California when I was at NIO's San Jose offices. We haven't done a lot with NIO, and a lot of you guys have asked us to, so that's kind of why we're here covering it in Norway while we are here. But just really an insane machine. Perhaps one day we'll even be able to drive it. I don't know. That would be pretty incredible to get this out on track and have some fun, but truly a next level machine. So Since we're here, let's talk a little bit more about what NIO is. NIO, of course, is a car company, a Chinese car company that is expanding into Europe. So Norway is the only sales market at the time of this recording, but Germany is just a couple weeks away. In Zusmarshausen, where I've filmed some big charging station reviews, the NIO battery swap just went in there, so they're getting ready for market launch. Here in Oslo, there's 4 battery swap stations. The 4th one is just about to go online. We'll have a whole video on how that process works as well. Really getting into the NIO coverage a little bit because the Americans are also interested in NIO from a stock perspective. So we get a lot of like investment people. We don't invest in automakers, right, Alyssa? But like
No.
they are very curious about the brand. So we're here to share our impressions as Americans of NIO. And just the other day, we drove the ET7. We have a whole video on our channel of this car right over here. Weren't these exact ones, but just a high quality car, don't you think, Alyssa? Mm-hmm. What was your impression of it?
Oh, I really loved it. It reminded me a lot of just my e-tron with the luxury experience. And just sitting in that back seat was amazing. Had massaging seats, heated seats, anything and everything. It was really pleasant.
Yeah, I agree, but I think software needs some work. So definitely some glitches. We couldn't get the battery swap to work. And I don't know what order these videos will go up, but we are taking an ES8 in the morning over to the battery swap station. So that way we can A, try a different model, and B, show the battery swapping situation, which half our audience thinks really dumb, half of our audience loves. I kind of don't think it's so necessary.
100% of our audience is still going to watch.
100% of our audience will still watch, maybe, we'll see. But let me show you around the cars really quick. So when you walk inside, you get the cars right here. An ET7 just went on sale only a few weeks ago here in Norway, and we've already seen them out and about. The main competitors to this car are XPeng P7, which we've seen quite a few of, a lot of taxis in Norway. But this is a really high quality piece of engineering, I think. Hardware-wise, they got it. Software-wise, really does need some optimization. 3 battery pack sizes, 75 kilowatt hour, 100 kilowatt hour, or 150 kilowatt hour. NIO claims January will be the launch of the 150 kilowatt hour. If you're curious on more of the car, we have a whole video, but take a look inside just to see how really nicely laid out it is. I'm a big fan of this thing. I think they did a wonderful job on material selection, on sizing the car. Glass roofs, door thunks are really nice. The thing with NIOs is that you can, of course, charge them on AC charging. I believe 11 kilowatt AC charging. They might have 22, I'm not totally sure, or DC charging. My impression, and just from talking to owners and drivers, we have some viewers who own NIOs in the comments, so thank you guys for emailing me with your experiences with the cars, is that there's not really a big peak charging speed. I think maybe 100, 120 kilowatts, 140 if you're lucky, but it holds it. It's kind of flat like an e-tron. So that seems to be typical of Chinese brands. We just went over to Voya earlier, similar situation with their car. This is the NIO ES8. You can see some light action going on in here, pretty cool. This we'll have a whole video on as well. Different style door handles, a little bit older design, if you will. I don't think quite as nice as ET7, but still pretty cool car. You can see Nomi on the dash. And this is really a great way to have, I would say, the general public come and interact with the cars. And that is sort of the showroom aspect, if you will, of NIO. And that's, typical of any showroom that you go to. But I started there because that's about all I wanted to talk about with the cars. NIO House is so much more than just the vehicles and coming to look at them. It's really cool because we're starting to see startup automakers branch out of the car space and get into the community space. And there's NIO Shanghai, there's NIO Beijing, NIO House is there. This is the first NIO House in Europe. I believe Stockholm is getting some, maybe Berlin. I think there's 4 planned for Europe in total coming soon. But this is the first and only at the moment. And it's kind of a cool spot. So Alyssa, should we just take everyone on a quick tour and tell them a little bit about it as we go?
Yes.
Okay, what was your favorite bit so far of being here?
Just how welcoming it is, and when we were talking to, who were we talking to?
Rebecca, I think is her name.
She just very much notified that how welcoming it is for the community to come in, and they do a lot of events, which I think is really awesome with the community outreach.
Right, so
And
you've
these
arrived
water
over here at
bottles
the
are
gift
super
shop.
cool. So with the gift shop, she said that a lot of the different places have different items. So
Yep.
it's kind of a novelty thing to check all of them out and maybe get all the items.
So in the US, you have the stock guys, but in China, you have real NIO fans. I mean, fans that love the company, drive the cars, really are into it, have Nomi accessories. And they said they have a lot of people that travel to Norway just to come to NIO House. Not sponsored, by the way. We just showed up. Like,
Yeah.
we literally just walked in. We don't take any money from automakers. You guys know that. But we are pretty positive because I think this is pretty incredible. They, the people travel here just to get the Oslo-specific NIO accessories, which is super duper cool. Keep showing that car, Alyssa. That's a nice car. So come on, let's keep it going. I want to make this a pretty quick video here. So you get your accessory shops and everything's like this. The whole NIO lifestyle, because again, NIO's trying to branch out of just cars, exists in a NIO app. And the NIO app has points that you can get to get access to things. For example, there's a lot of parties here, seminars, wine tasting events, and we'll show you a little bit about where those take place. You learn about them on the NIO app, you sign up on the NIO app, and you actually collect points when you come.
Right, and you don't need to own a car in order to do it.
That's totally correct. So there's a lot of college students that will come here, attend courses, whatever, earn points, and then get free coffee at the cafe right over here, which is kind of cool. Just immersing people in the NIO lifestyle. So of course we came, we got some drinks earlier, and really cool cafe, good to see you. And I don't know, you can get whatever you really, what do most people get here? What's the most popular drink?
We have the NIO special drink.
A NIO,
Apple juice and with raspberry and blueberry puree.
so a NIO special drink, apple juice and raspberry and blueberry puree. Can we see it? Can we see what it looks like?
Yes, it was on the pictures, but
Oh, okay.
I'll show it to you later. I can
Yeah,
show it for you.
we'll swing back around at the end. How about that?
Thank
Pretty
you.
cool. So there's a really, just good vibe, totally open to the public. Anyone can come here for free, work here for free. It's meant to be a community center. We've seen Rivian really take this when we took you on a tour of their Venice, was it? Their
wasn't
hub? You
there.
weren't there. Jordan and I went. I can't remember what city it was in, somewhere in the LA area. I think it was Venice. And yeah, just really positive. So restrooms, should we do a quick peek inside?
Sure.
Everyone likes to see. Just super high quality. You don't need to go all the way in.
Well, they got nice sinks.
They have nice sinks.
Yeah, nice sinks.
Okay, very cool.
But this place almost it honestly reminds me of my library at NC State. But it's open to the public, which is really nice.
So the building flows like this because the whole intention of the building, which we'll get into downstairs, is to represent Norway. NIO's house is, I guess, a celebration of Norway. So the building flows to symbolize waves. The staircase is made in a way to symbolize mountains.
Yes.
It's like fjords, sky, and something else. Air, was it? Is what the theme is here. Something like that. We're not architecture nerds. But
it's
we
beautiful.
actually will have a whole series coming this summer on automotive architecture with my friend Hannah, who's a really great designer.
Yeah, she would
And
love this place.
Yeah, so we might have to send Hannah here.
She
to
would
do
understand
a
it
proper tour.
100%.
Yes, but I think you guys are going to like that. The whole theme of that series is going to be on.
Yeah, so this is just
automotive
kind of like a
architecture.
mountainscape here.
Right, mountainscape here. To my right, which is really cool, is actually open office space. So small companies could rent out these, I believe, for free. You can host company meetings here, just like a Starbucks, inside, in your own little private space, and you just book these out online. Really a cool idea. They do movies here for kids.
Wine
They do
tastings.
lectures, they do technology demonstrations, NIO tech demonstrations as well. It's just a really cool place. And what's amazing, Alyssa, is how huge this space is right in downtown Oslo. It's so expensive. I mean, it just must be crazy. And then over here you have a working space, which is really neat. So you can, I guess, come here and as a public have a quiet place to get some work done on your computers. They have a little bit of library with a book selection on the left, which is neat. Fire pit right in the center. And just an awesome, again, keeps coming up, awesome spot. On the right, there's a kids play area, which is really cool. So if you take a look in here, If you want to get some work done and stuff the kids somewhere, if you're buying a NIO, you can just throw them in there.
Not even if you're buying a NIO, if you're just walking down the street.
Yeah, if you're just walking down the street and your kid wants to go have a play.
You don't need to buy a NIO to do this.
No, you just come on over here.
Completely open to the public.
They have this very trippy glass situation here, which is just wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Super cool. So coming on over here, this is the room, I guess, where they do a lot of wine tasting, which is very interesting.
And tea tasting. Wine and tea. There's just a lot of community events that happen here.
Very nice. Yeah, really cool. If we take a look over here on the walls, they have a book that's Great Women Artists, Beyond the West, Out of the Woods, I guess just getting you in the mood for these things. Anyone can take the books, they're real books. Real books.
That's good.
You know what's kind of funny is because NIO is such a Chinese company, I think it's okay for me to say this, I always feel like they're watching my every move.
Yeah.
When we were in the ET7, I'm like, oh, Nomi's definitely recording this and sending it to someone in a lab. But I don't really get that vibe here.
No. Well, Norway is very private with a lot of their things, so they probably nixed a lot of camera usage. But there's a secret security here, so.
Right. So we did ask, because this came up when we reviewed the NIO space, what happens when like the general public comes and they get rowdy? And I think in general that happens less in Norway than it would happen in
US.
Venice Beach, California.
Yeah, that's just a total American question right there.
Right, but apparently there's hidden security buttons for the staff where they can hit them at any time, and they have people on staff that will just come and
Immediately.
like
And
full
all these
secret service
really
mode.
cool hidden doors.
Hidden doors
architecture.
everywhere. I mean, yeah, if you're trying, this is I would love for Hannah to come and figure out all this. Here's another hidden door that was left propped open actually. Super neat. But I do love that they have security here on weekends. They say they have thousands of people on the weekends here. I mean, it goes through waves. We came purposefully at a very low traffic time, but sometimes they're like, it's jammed in this whole building. And people buy NIOs here as well. They have the most foot traffic of any NIO house, and
I
they
was
sell.
just about to say that.
Oh, great! And they sell more cars than any other NIO house.
Yeah.
Up
So
to this
here's
point.
kind of the concepts of what they're going for. So the concept of the fjord, the ceilings like the sky, the walls like the mountains, and the floors like the water.
Oh, well, I really got that wrong, didn't I?
Yeah. But you can see that within the carpeting over there, and yeah. Architecture is really cool once you dive deep into it, but it's just a totally different world. Different nerd level.
What I'd really love to do is go to each different NIO house and see how they're designed differently, how they integrate with the community differently. The nice thing here is that, you know, the Norwegians are really, I would say, mentally open people. They, in general, there are certainly some that don't. We've met a few like, I only drive an Audi and nothing else kind of people. But they generally seem to be pretty open to a new Chinese automaker. They are open to test driving the cars. You can come here and experience them before you buy. I like the idea of the app where you can earn points. Buying a car gives you 12,000 points for accessories or stuff in the gift shop, or lots of free coffee. You can do that.
I guess that's what she said a lot of the students do, is that they'll come to events so they can get unlimited coffee and just study.
Yep,
which
absolutely.
Is great.
Very cool. You can see the roof is actually glass right up here. That must be cool during the daytime. We're in the middle of, well, coming into winter, so not much daylight at the moment. I like the NIO logo. Everything feels high quality. I like that this ES8 is on Nokian Hakkapeliitta winter tires.
Of course.
So big fan. Thanks to Nokian for being a great supporter of Out of Spec as always. This one's on the EV specific Nokian tires. Check out this charge port. We'll have a whole video on this car, but damn. That's pretty cool. Don't know how to reopen it.
Oh, you
There we
have
go.
a magic touch.
No front trunks in NIOs, by the way.
No.
Is that a big deal for you?
No, not
Okay.
really.
Did you know your Audi has a front trunk?
It's very small.
Very small.
So it's like useless.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
there's always a use case for anything, but it's just kind of like, I don't know what you'd stuff in there.
Yeah, charging
maybe-
cables.
Charging cable, maybe a dog leash or something.
Yes. Well, let's run over back to the cafe and see what that drink looks like. And then I think that's a pretty good tour of NIO House, don't you think?
I agree.
Yeah. And really, did we miss anything? Downtown Oslo, open to the public. Everyone's super nice and friendly. You can definitely tell they're trying to make a good first impression on the European market. That seems to be top of mind, top priority. I think everyone we've seen high up in this project has been Norwegian, not Chinese.
Yep.
And so I think they were like, we need to get locals to understand their own culture for this here. So yeah, cool. Let's go see this drink. And here we are just finishing up the video. This is the NIO specialty drink. So can you explain again what's in there?
It's apple juice with raspberry and blueberry puree. We call it epleschlang because as they mentioned, or they call it in Norwegian, epleschlang, where you steal an apples from a neighbor's. Yes.
Very cool. And who came up with this drink? This is just for the NIO House in Oslo?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. Do you mind if I try it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
One sip, everybody knows the rules.
Ooh, wow.
Is
It's
that
really
good?
refreshing.
Yeah, 9.8 out of 10.
9.
You want to give it a go, Alyssa?
Sure.
Here, I'll leave it right here. We'll swap the camera position. This is the official NIO drink.
That is very good.
That is legit one of the best things ever.
That's awesome.
Nice.
is very
Well, thank
tasty.
you for showing us that. Appreciate it. And there you go. There's the tour of NIO House. Alyssa, any final comments before we wrap up the video?
No, it's just it's just so welcoming, which is the best part of it. And I would hang out here, especially if I was a college kid. Just hang out here all day.
I think both you and I are pretty impressed with the cars and everything like that. I'd love to see their software improved a bit. And but we'll keep
time.
covering it. I mean, over our trips going forwards, we're going to try and borrow an ET7 in Germany. We'll have the battery swap video coming for you very soon.
And then hopefully they come to America.
Hopefully they come to America. Honestly, the first Chinese automaker to come to America in masses will open the floodgates.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be crazy. So thanks so much for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. See you in another one soon. Bye-bye. And here down in the parking garage, they actually have DC fast chargers for all of their NIO test drive cars, and of course level 2 chargers around. Parking's really tight in Oslo. I don't think this is open to the public. Thanks to them for letting us come and charge up our Model 3. But yeah, DC fast charger seems to be doing about 90 kilowatts right now. Doesn't need to be ultra fast, just needs to be enough to get the cars topped up during test drives.